This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students. So now we are learning about mineral nutrition, which is the 12th chapter, and the NEET 2024 in the syllabus you can see here mineral nutrition. There you are learning about essential minerals, macro and micro elements and their role you are learning, then their deficiency symptoms, then mineral toxicity, then one basic idea about hydroponics, right? So hydroponics, we know that is a method to study the mineral nutrition also. Then a very important topic, that is nitrogen metabolism. In that nitrogen cycle, biological nitrogen fixation, all you're learning in that portion. Okay. So here in the previous class, we have already learned about hydroponics, then what is aeroponics, then classification of mineral nutrients, that one classification based on their essentiality in the body, and another classification on the basis of their occurrence in the dry matter of living organism, right? So according to the essentiality, essential mineral elements and non-essential mineral elements we have classified, right? So and on the basis of their occurrence in the dry matter, they have classified into two, micronutrients and macronutrients. And we have learned about some mineral nutrients, their function and their deficiency symptom. So we have already covered carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, then nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus. So the remaining minerals we'll learn in this class. So first we'll start with potassium. See, while explaining about each topic, I'm including the maximum points which have come as previous year questions. So all the practice questions or previous year questions from each topic I'm including as points. So these points you have to learn. You have to learn the minimum points. At least these points you have to learn before your exam. Okay. So here the potassium we are going to learn. Potassium K, right? This potassium, we know that this is required in more quantities. Where more quantities, like abundant quantities of potassium is required in the meristematic tissues. In meristematic tissues. Then leaves, roots, roots in the sense root tips. Okay, root tips we can say. Then in buds also. Okay. So potassium is required in more quantities in meristematic tissues, in buds, leaves, and root tips. Clear? So potassium ions, K plus ions, in that form it is absorbed. It is obtained in K plus ions, potassium ion form. Okay. Then what is the function of this potassium ion? Potassium ion, see, this is associated with the anion cation balance in the cell. Okay. Anion cation balance in the cell. This is maintaining the anion cation balance in the cell. Which one? This potassium ions, their main one function is they are associated with the anion cation balance in the cell. Then sodium potassium pump in the active transport. Sodium potassium, Na plus and K plus, right? K plus Na plus pump. In which one? In the active transport. Okay. And here potassium is very important. Why we are saying it is very important? Because this potassium activates several enzymes. This activates around 40 enzymes. See, almost 40 enzymes this is activating. Which one? Potassium. So potassium activates around 40 enzymes, and this brings about the opening and closing of stomata. Opening and closing of stomata. Okay, so this potassium ion that is responsible, or that brings about the opening and closing of stomata. And you know that this potassium is essential for photosynthesis, then respiration, chlorophyll synthesis. For all these, photosynthesis, respiration, chlorophyll synthesis, in all these, it is that plays main role. Which one? Potassium. Okay, so more quantities, it is required in more quantities in the meristematic tissues, buds, root tips, leaves, and it is working in the anion cation balance in the cell, and it is important in the active transport. So it is maintaining the sodium potassium pump in the active transport, and this is responsible for the activation of 40 enzymes, around 40 enzymes we can say, and it is helping for the opening and closing of stomata, potassium. Okay, then this is involved, it is playing a main role in the respiration, chlorophyll synthesis, then photosynthesis. Okay, so these are all the functions of potassium, or role of potassium ions. Next, deficiency of potassium. What are all symptoms that shows potassium deficiency? That shows chlorosis, which is followed by necrosis at the tip and margin of the leaves. Okay, so we'll see the deficiency symptoms of potassium ions in plants. What and all deficiency symptoms it will show? Chlorosis followed by necrosis. And first this will appear in the older leaves, in the margins, okay, at the tip and margins. So first this will appear in the older leaves, then to the younger one. And you can see, we said the chlorosis, that yellow color formation in the margins. So yellow leaf margins, you can see this is due to the deficiency of potassium. And we said it is activating several enzymes, right? It is playing main roles. And here, if the deficiency of potassium ion is there, means that inhibits protein synthesis. Inhibits protein synthesis. Okay. And that causes, the deficiency of potassium ion causes scorching of leaves. Scorching of leaf. Okay, so these are the deficiency symptoms of potassium ions. So all these, the symptoms they may give. So before that, I said the functions, right? Functions of potassium ions, in that each and every point is very important. So that activates several enzymes, we said, brings about the opening and closing of stomata, and essential for photosynthesis, respiration, chlorophyll synthesis. All these points we said, all those are previous year questions. And sometimes they will give, here in the deficiency symptom, they will give 2-3 deficiency symptoms, and this is due to the deficiency of which mineral ion they will ask. Okay, so such type of questions also you can expect. 2-3 symptoms, with that you need to find out it is the deficiency of which one. Okay. About next, we are learning about magnesium, Mg. Mg2 plus ions. In this form, magnesium is available. Okay, Mg, magnesium is available in Mg2 plus forms, or it is obtained as Mg2 plus forms, and the functions. Magnesium is involved in the synthesis of nucleic acid. Involved in the synthesis of nucleic acid. Nucleic acid in the sense DNA and RNA. Okay. So magnesium is involved in the synthesis of nucleic acid, and this is helping to maintain the ribosome structure. Okay. Magnesium helps to maintain the ribosome structure. Okay, so here this is very important. This magnesium is helping to maintain the ribosome structure. Then magnesium, you know that we have learned about chlorophyll, right? So this is the constituent of the ring structure of chlorophyll. Which one? Magnesium. Ring structure of chlorophyll. Okay, so you should have that picture of that chlorophyll structure. So in that you can see the how it is maintaining the ring structure and what is the role of this magnesium in the ring structure of chlorophyll, or how it is that how that structure is, that you know, you should have an idea. And magnesium is the activator of some enzymes which is involved in respiration. Okay, magnesium, this is involved in the activation of enzymes, and these enzymes, which enzymes are they? Respiration, which is involved in respiration. Okay, so those enzymes which are involved in the respiration, magnesium is the activator of such some of the enzymes. Then magnesium activates some enzymes which is involved in photosynthesis, then fat and carbohydrate metabolism. That is also the roles played by magnesium. So magnesium activates enzymes which are involved in respiration, then photosynthesis, and carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Okay, these are all the roles of magnesium ions. Okay, this ring structure of chlorophyll, this is also important question. All these are previous year questions. Okay, that's why I'm writing it as separate points. These are previous year questions, so those points I'm highlighting and giving. Okay, next we need to say about the deficiency symptoms, right? Deficiency of magnesium ions. So what are the symptoms it will show if magnesium deficiency is there? Means interveinal chlorosis of older leaves. Chlorosis of older leaves. Interveinal chlorosis of older leaves. And we know that magnesium is absent or it is deficient means that inhibit the growth. So growth inhibition. And another one which you have commonly observed, I think the tips and margins of leaves that will turn upward. Upward turning of tips and leaf margins. Okay, they will turn upward if it is having the deficiency of magnesium. Then magnesium deficiency in tobacco that causes sand-drown disease. If magnesium deficiency comes, that causes sand-drown disease in tobacco. Okay, this is a previous year question. Sand-drown disease that is seen in tobacco, and that is due to the magnesium deficiency. Clear? Then magnesium inhibits the growth, magnesium deficiency that causes growth inhibition, then upward turning of tips and leaf margins, then interveinal chlorosis of older leaves. These are the deficiency symptoms. Okay, and in tobacco that causes sand-drown disease that is caused by the deficiency of magnesium ions. Clear? Next is about calcium. It is available, or that is obtained as Ca2 plus calcium ions, Ca2 plus ions. And we know that calcium, that is the important component of middle lamella of cell wall. In cell wall, middle lamella, this is an important component. The cell wall middle lamella, it is an important component in cell wall middle lamella, and that controls, this calcium ion controls the permeability. Controls the permeability. Then during the mitotic spindle formation, this calcium is very important. Important during mitotic spindle formation. Right. So for cell division, it is very important. Then this calcium is also activator of some enzymes. And calcium, we said it is important in mitotic spindle formation. So this is connected with the chromosome formation and many aspects of metabolism. Okay, connected with chromosome formation. Then it is also connected with the many aspects of metabolism. For root hair, for the growth of good root hair, this is essential. Root hair growth, for that it is important. Which one? Calcium ions. Okay, so component, this is a component of middle lamella of cell wall, and that controls the permeability, and it is very important during mitotic spindle formation. And this is the activator of few enzymes, and it is connected with the chromosome formation and metabolism. Okay, and for good root hair growth, calcium ions are essential. And the deficiency, we said deficiency symptoms we can discuss. See, we said the root hair growth, for that it is very important. If it is deficient, if calcium ions are deficient, what will happen? Degeneration of meristems, especially root apex we can see. degeneration of meristematic cells in the root, we can say, or generally meristematic cell degeneration that will happen. Then another symptom is chlorosis along the margin of young leaves. Chlorosis along the margin of young leaves. Okay. Then in tomato, this causes blossom end rot. Blossom end rot. That is in tomato, and that is due to the calcium deficiency. This is a repeated previous year question. In tomato, blossom end rot, that is the disease caused in tomato by calcium deficiency. Due to calcium deficiency, this is the blossom end rot. It is due to calcium deficiency in tomato. Okay, and here cell wall in cell wall, the middle lamella, here this calcium is an important component, and that controls the permeability. All these points have come for previous year exams, NEET exams. And here root hair growth, that is very important, and chromosome spindle formation. Okay, they will give some list of minerals, among that which is associated with the mitotic spindle formation, which is having connection with mitotic spindle formation. Okay, and this blossom end rod, that is also a previous year question, but this question is repeated. Okay, so that's all about calcium. Next we need to learn about iron. Iron, we'll write Fe, and in which form it is obtained, Fe3 plus or Fe2 plus. It is obtained in Fe3 plus ion or Fe2 plus ion. In these forms it is obtained. Okay, and here role about the functions, if you're speaking, it is the structural component of porphyrin protein complexes. It is having important role in photosynthesis, then respiration of plants, then structural component of porphyrin protein complexes, porphyrin protein complexes, and it is having significant role in photosynthesis and respiration. Okay, and the deficiency of this iron, that causes intervenal chlorosis. That causes intervenal chlorosis. See, especially you can see this intervenal chlorosis in young leaves. Okay, and due to the limited mobility, that may be localized to single leaf or the branch. That is due to the limited mobility. Then this iron deficiency, that causes green netting of citrus. Green netting of citrus. This is a previous year question, very important previous year question, and this is repeated question. Okay, so these are the main points which you need to learn about iron. And next is about boron. See, whichever points I'm explaining here, you have to learn all the points. There is nothing to delete from this. Minimum you should read these points. Okay, these points are included from previous year questions. Based on that, I have prepared. So you have to read minimum these many points. Next is about boron, B. And this boron is obtained in which and all forms? BO3 3 minus, and this is bit difficult. If you can, as an extra point, you can learn. Then functions, about the roles or functions of boron. If you are saying this is boron is very essential for meristematic activity, and that increases the uptake of water and calcium. Important for meristematic activity. Then second point, we can say that increases the uptake of water and calcium. Okay, that increases water and calcium uptake. And you know that boron is very important for the growth of pollen tube and the formation of root nodules. Okay, so for formation of pollen tubes, which one is important? Boron. This is repeated question. And another one, formation of root nodules. Root nodules. This is also important. In leguminous plants, you know that root nodules are forming. So this is essential. Boron is essential for the formation of root nodules. Then boron, that is regulating the salt absorption. Active salt absorption. The next point is it regulates fat metabolism. Then hormone metabolism. And it plays a very good role in photosynthesis. Then here boron, we can say it is involved in the carbohydrate translocation. Carbohydrate translocation. Okay. Then it is important for the uptake and utilization of calcium ions. Uptake and utilization of calcium ions. Okay. And fruit size increase. It is very important and necessary for the increase in the fruit size. Which one? Boron. Boron plays important role in fruit size increase. Okay. So in boron, if you're learning about boron, we have so many points to learn. So all these are from previous year questions, like fat metabolism, hormone metabolism, photosynthesis, carbohydrate translocation. All these boron is involved, and it is very important for active salt absorption and calcium ion uptake. And for the increase in fruit size, boron plays important role, and it is increasing the water and calcium uptake. Then the formation of pollen tube, it is very important in the formation of pollen tube, and the formation of root nodules, there also it is playing important role. So this boron is important for the meristematic activities. Clear? So these are the main points which we are learning about the functions or role of boron, right? Then next, about the deficiency symptoms. If the deficiency, let's see if it is deficient, what and all problems it may cause. root apex and stem apex may die. Death of root apex and that may happen due to which one? Due to the deficiency of boron. Then reduction in flower number and fruit size. We said it is playing very important role in the fruit size. So fruit size reduces. Then flower number reduces. Reduction in flower number and fruit size. Then the deficiency of boron that causes heart rot of beets. Then stem crank of celery. Brown heart of turnip. Then hollow stem of cauliflower. Then we said in root nodule formation, it is playing important role. So this will reduce the nodule formation in legumes. All these points, see the deficiency symptoms, all these are previous year questions that causes death of root and stem apex. Then fruit size reduces, reduced nodule formation will be there if boron is deficient, and it causes many diseases like, and flower number and fruit size that reduces, right? And here another one we are saying about two three diseases: heart rot of beets, then stem crank of celery, brown heart of turnip, hollow stem of cauliflower. All these are caused by the deficiency of boron. Okay, all these diseases which I have mentioned here, they are previous year questions. Clear? Next, so that's about boron. Next, we need to learn. Next, we need to learn about manganese. So this is obtained in Mn2 plus form. Okay, manganese. And manganese, like boron, manganese is also playing several roles. So that activates several enzymes. Enzymes, which are the enzymes like malic dehydrogenase, succinic dehydrogenase. So all these enzymes are involved in Krebs cycle. Okay. Then this is taking part in photolysis of water. Krebs cycle enzymes, the enzyme that activates enzymes which are involved in Krebs cycle. So here we need to note down one previous year question is there: malic dehydrogenase and oxalosuccinate dehydrogenase. for those enzymes, the activator, which works as the activator, magnesium, manganese. Manganese is working as, or Mn2 plus. It is obtained in Mn2 plus form, and manganese is working as the activator of all these enzymes which are involved in the Krebs cycle. And this is taking part in the photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. So that is splitting water and that is liberating oxygen. That's what happening there. Okay, splitting of water to liberate oxygen. So during photosynthesis, it is playing important role in the photolysis of water. And this manganese that is essential for the synthesis of chlorophyll. In chlorophyll synthesis, in that also it plays important role. Okay, and the deficiency symptoms. See, this deficiency or manganese deficiency that leads to leaf flecking or gray spots. That is, this gray spots that is due to the chlorosis and necrosis in the intervenous zones. This manganese deficiency that causes gray speck of out. Then marsh spot disease of P. Okay, these are the diseases which is caused by manganese deficiency. So here the enzymes which are involved in Krebs cycle, that is a previous year question, and this manganese is involved in the photolysis of water, and what it is doing, it is splitting the water and releases the oxygen. Okay, that is very, very important. So that is also a previous year question. During the photosynthesis, this is taking place. Then for chlorophyll synthesis, it is important. Then the deficiency. From the deficiency part, that causes a gray spot or the leaf flecking due to the chlorosis and necrosis. Then these diseases, gray speck of oat, then marsh spot disease of P. Both are caused by the deficiency of manganese. Okay, next we need to learn about zinc. Zinc is obtained in Zn2 plus ion forms, and zinc is very essential for the synthesis of tryptophan. Synthesis of tryptophan, and this tryptophan which is a precursor of IAA. Tryptophan, this is the precursor of IAA, indole acetic acid, which is a plant growth substance, right? So the synthesis of tryptophan, which is a precursor of IAA. IAA is the indole acetic acid, which is a plant growth substance. Then zinc activates dehydrogenases and carboxylases. Dehydrogenases and carboxylases. Zinc activates these enzymes. Okay. And this zinc is present in enzyme carbonic anhydrase. It is present in enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Okay. And another important point and the repeated question. This is a repeated question. So zinc promotes synthesis of cytochromes. Promotes synthesis of cytochromes. Okay. And about deficiency, we are saying means about their deficiency that reduces, if the deficiency is there, means that reduces the internode length. Then plant will become very dwarf. And that causes whip tip of maize. Then Kara disease of rice. Kara disease of rice. Then sickle leaf of coca. Okay, so these are the deficiency symptoms. So that reduces the internode length and dwarf plants will be there. Then diseases which are caused due to the deficiency of zinc, that is Kara disease of rice, sickle leaf of coca, then whip tip of maize. Okay. So these diseases you have to note down separately, and all these are very important. These are repeated previous year questions, these diseases. Okay. Next is about copper. Copper Cu, and here it is obtained in Cu2 plus forms, the ionic form. Then the functions, about the functions, if you are saying, first the main point that involves in the activation of several enzymes. Okay, then copper, that is a component of plastocyanin and cytochrome oxidase enzyme. Component of plastocyanin and cytochrome oxidase. Plastocyanin and cytochrome oxidase enzyme, and this involved in ETS, in photosynthesis. Then this copper that is required for the synthesis of enzymes which are necessary for the synthesis of ascorbic acid or vitamin C. So for vitamin C synthesis, some enzymes are required. So for the synthesis of those enzymes, this copper is very important. Enzyme required for vitamin C or ascorbic acid synthesis. For that enzyme synthesis, copper is required. Okay. And next, we need to learn about the deficiency symptoms. So about the deficiency, if you are saying the deficiency symptoms, wilting of leaf margins and chlorosis. Chlorosis and wilting of leaf margins, that is one important symptom. And necrosis at the tip of young leaves and margins. Necrosis at the tip of young leaves and margins. Then in citrus, this deficiency of copper that causes dye black disease. Dieback disease. Dieback disease in citrus. This is in citrus. Okay. And in cereals and legumes, that causes reclamation disease. Cereals and legumes. In that causes reclamation disease. And this copper deficiency that causes another disease, which is like the exudation of gum or resin. So that is exanthema disease. Exanthema disease. In this disease, bark splits up at some places. Okay, and through that, the gum or resin will come out. So that is the exanthema disease, which is caused by copper deficiency. Exanthema due to the copper deficiency. So bark, in some places, that bark will split up, and through that the gum or resin will exude. Okay, so that's about the copper. Next we need to learn about chlorine. So this is obtained in Cl minus form or Cl minus ion form, and this is required for the photolysis of water during the photosynthesis in photosystem 2. Okay, required for photolysis of water in photosystem 2. Okay, then with sodium and potassium, that helps in determining the solute concentration and anion cation balance in the cells. Which one? Chlorine helps to determine solute concentration with Na plus K plus. Okay, and that helps in the anion cation balance. Okay, and this chlorine that increases water volume inside the cell, and that regulates the carbohydrate metabolism. Regulates carbohydrate metabolism, and that increases water volume inside the cell. Increases water volume inside the cell. Okay, and next, if you're saying about the deficiency, wilted leaves. Leaves, and these wilted leaves later it will become chlorotic, and finally they will get a bronze color. Okay, so that is due to the deficiency of chlorine, and roots will become stunted or thickened. Stunted roots, thickened roots, and club shaped. And the fruiting is reduced in this. Okay, and here photosynthesis is also inhibited due to the deficiency of chlorine. Then root tips that will become swollen, and flower abscission also will be there. Swollen root tips, abscission of flower. All these are the symptoms of chlorine deficiency. Next, we need to learn about nickel. Ni2 plus forms. This is available. Okay. So this is the role of nickel. We can say it is involved in the metabolism of urea. In that, nickel plays a role, and this is helping in the germination and early seedling growth of jack bean seeds. Germination and early seedling growth of jack bean seeds. This is a previous year question and a repeated question. Okay, and the deficiency we can say leaf tip necrosis. Leaf tip necrosis. Okay, that is the deficiency symptom of nickel. Next is about molybdenum. Molybdenum MO. Molybdenum, this is important in nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation. Why it is important in nitrogen fixation? Because this is an activator of nitrate reductase. It is a activator of nitrate reductase. Which one? Molybdenum. And this is required for the synthesis of ascorbic acid. For the synthesis of ascorbic acid, then this is acting as an activator of some dehydrogenase and phosphatase. It is working as the activator of some phosphatases and dehydrogenases, some enzymes. Okay. Then molybdenum, that is a component of nitrogenase, nitrate reductase, and it is an activator of dehydrogenases. Okay. Then the deficiency symptoms, mottling and chlorosis, first in the older leaves and then it will come to the younger leaves. First in the older leaves, then to the younger leaves. Okay, and here that leads to the abscission of flowers. Deficiency of molybdenum that causes abscission of flowers, then fruit formation, inhibition in the fruit formation. In cauliflower, that causes a disease which is called whiptail disease. In cauliflower. Okay, so here the leaves will become flaccid and that will become brown. That is the whiptail disease of cauliflower. So that is caused due to the deficiency of molybdenum. So here we have learned the mineral nutrients and their function and the deficiency symptom. Actually, this chapter is a simple chapter, you can expect direct question from this chapter. But the thing is, each and every point of this chapter, each and every sentence of this chapter is an important point. So you cannot avoid, because so many questions in all question papers, all previous year question paper, you can see 2 to 3 questions from this chapter. Minimum one question you can expect, 1 or 2 questions you can expect. So this is a direct question portion, so you have to learn this because you can score maximum from this, right? There is no application type question, nothing, right? At the same time, if you're going to genetics part, there you will get more application type of questions. So here, type this type of chapters you must cover, and you have to make notes like this. See, these notes, whatever I'm discussing, these are prepared from the previous year question papers. So it's easy to cover the previous. We have covered almost all the previous year questions in this chapter. While discussing this, all the previous year questions, previous 10 years questions, I have covered all the points. So at least you should learn this much. You can read, you can solve several other question papers, but minimum you should go through these points. Okay. So in the next class, we'll be learning about the mobility of enzymes, then absorption of mineral nutrients, then the nitrogen metabolism. Okay, or nitrogen fixation points. We'll cover all those questions. We'll cover the main points as well as the previous year questions from those portions. Okay, thank you.